Hello and welcome to Journalist Hangout. I am Esther Mokwariola. Today on the program, Labour Party advises Joe Ajaero to resign as NLC president and contest the party's chairmanship. Insists National Convention holds as planned on March 27th. As NLC storms party secretariat demands Abure's sack. Later on the show, Chief of Defence Staff visits Kaduna after another mass abduction, vows the military will go after terrorists. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade at Otitoju and Mayor Akinpelu. Journalist Hangout starts now.
Good governance at any level is characterized by 4 pillars: transparency, accountability, fairness, and responsibility. The Seyi Makinde-led administration since inception has upheld all these traits, making life more meaningful for the people of Oyo State. Resting on the 4 pillars of the administration, which includes education, health, security, and expansion of the economy through agribusiness, the people have continued to feel the impact of good governance. On your update, you'll be opportune to see how far the Seyi Makinde government has brought governance to every doorstep across the state. Join us weekly at this time for insightful moments on your state, setting the pace.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to traveling far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
And over the years, citizens' trust in political office holders with regards to fulfillment in campaign promises has dwindled. But some governors are gradually restoring the confidence of the people in the government in the face of economic hardship. Governor Uba Sani has launched the second batch of palliative distribution worth 11.4 billion naira to residents. And at the launch of the program in Kaduna, Governor Sani also announced grants for 7,500 micro, small and medium enterprises, as well as a 3.3 billion naira for payment of pensions and gratuities. Let's share the story by our correspondent, Lupe Asom, with you.
Despite the challenges, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has remained steadfast in his development agenda, demonstrating that progress will not be impeded by adversity. His administration has spent 11.4 billion naira on the second batch of palliatives. The commencement of this palliative distribution signifies a comprehensive approach to tackling poverty at its core. Government officials, politicians, religious leaders all converged on Murtala Square to witness the distribution.
Our administration has identified poverty reduction in rural areas as key to unlocking the enormous potential of Kaduna State. We are equally determined to reach the urban poor and assist them to escape extreme poverty. We are also focusing on the revival and boosting of small businesses through the provision of financial support and improving ease of doing business.
The initiative aims to support the poor, vulnerable and underserved within the state, extending its support to small businesses.
What I've benefited, even for the peace now, is something. And we are looking up unto him for good things, good tidings, which we have seen on ground. And we know he will make us proud.
A high-powered palliative distribution committee comprising representatives from various sectors, ensured transparency and fairness in the distribution process.
You have opened a new page of relationship with us, and that we are consolidating and will certainly make it work for the benefit of the generality of the people of Kaduna State.
To me, this is the second time you have been serving people. I remember the school fees was hijacked in Kasu. You reduced the fees and were able to pay and then continue with the education. We thank you very much. You are now feeding people at the very important time of Ramadan. Only God knows which reward you will get for this effort.
The governor believes various interventions from cash grants to smallholder farmers to aid for micro-enterprises will have a positive impact on vulnerable individuals. The release of pension and gratuity for retired civil servants and their families aims to provide the much-needed relief.
The sum of 4.2 billion has been earmarked for distribution of cash, grants, fertilizer, farm inputs and implements to vulnerable households, smallholder farmers, micro, small and medium enterprises, persons with disability, internally displaced persons, IDPs, orphans, market women and youths. 3.3 billion has been released for payment of pension and gratuities, as well as death benefits to families of deceased civil servants. Beneficiaries have started receiving alerts. The total number of beneficiaries stands at 1,338.
And his last place of assignment was Sonje LEA before his death. Yes, he died in service. I want to appreciate the government for this very nice gesture. This money actually comes at the perfect moment. In fact, we've been pursuing this for quite some years now, so I feel it comes at a very nice time. So I want to say thank you to Kaduna State government.
The government's initiative providing revolving loans aims to empower entrepreneurs, driving the growth of small businesses and revitalizing the economy.
We have commenced the release of grants to 7,500 micro, small and medium enterprises. The micro and medium small enterprises are getting between 100,000 and 500,000 up to 1 million, depending on the size of the enterprises.
Executive orders promoting financial inclusion will enable millions to access banking services, breaking the cycle of exclusion. 128 trucks loaded with rice and maize will be distributed to provide hope for over 1 million citizens. Fertilizers, tractors and various other forms of assistance tailored for smallholder farmers are also set to be given out.
We are commencing the distribution of 128 trucks of rice and maize worth 3.4 billion to the poor, vulnerable and underserved citizens of Kaduna State. We are targeting 200,000 households, approximately about 1 million persons.
Key figures at the launch commended the governor for the effort.
We are solidly behind you, we will continue to support you, and we are calling on our people to see reasons and support the government of the day and what the government is doing so that we can succeed in our state, especially at this trying moment where we're having a lot of security challenges.
And I'm very proud of him as a friend. I'm proud of him as a politician. We've been together for many, many years. And I have no doubt that as long as he continues the way he's going, he shall go even further in this country. Proud of you. Well done, my brother. God be with you.
Governor Sani also addressed the ongoing insecurity challenges, emphasizing the government's commitments to overcoming them.
As you are aware, in the last 2-3 weeks, we had a series of meetings between governors and Mr. President. Only a few days ago, we had a meeting with the NSA and the service chiefs. All of us are working to see that we reposition the security structure of Nigeria. As it is today, it's not working, and we need to do something about it. And of course, it's not only Kaduna State, every state in Nigeria is not safe.
Despite the prevailing security challenges, Governor Sani says he's determined to empower more residents. He assures that the third phase of the distribution will come up in 2 months. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
Right, PKO, you just heard the report by our correspondent. 11.4 billion naira palliative distribution from the governor of Kaduna State. What do you make of this?
Well, I'm really impressed. And you see, I'm happy with what looks like a competition going on between these governors. Because we challenged them, we said, they are not doing anything. And they told us, Kaduna will never do any palliative, that the money that was meant for it, a bank has taken it and all that. We said, Governor Basani will not do palliative. Somebody told me, you see, he will not do. I challenge you to investigate why Basani will not do palliative. But look at the way he has done this one. Look at what he has set aside for his own. 11.4 billion in a manner that cuts across. Some are doing palliative, simply distributing grains to the vulnerable in our society. I do not have any quarrel with that. But see the extent to which
he's gone.
This governor has gone. He's trying to touch every corner. He's trying to make sure that he doesn't leave any vulnerable soul behind. And when we talk about vulnerable people, you can see that children of deceased public servants also served their country, died on duty. They've been accommodated in this scheme. It's a very big, a very elaborate one. The government is going to spend 11.4 billion. And the next phase is going to happen within the next 2 months. Now, 120 trucks of rice and maize. There are governors who have not distributed a single grain of rice that we know. We just choose to leave them to their conscience. But one person has already delivered 120 trucks of rice and maize, valued at 3.4 billion to 200,000 households. Each, the people, approximately 1 million people will benefit from this. Then 4.2 billion in form of cash grants to vulnerable groups, MSMEs, PWDs, IDPs, orphans, market women, and youths. And then grants for farmers to have access to fertilizers and implements for their farming. It's also releasing 3.3 billion for pensions, gratuities, and debt benefits, in which 1,330 beneficiaries are already receiving alerts. One of the first things that Governor Basani did was to address the issue of pensions. One of the first things. It shows that he has empathy for people who have served their country, who have served their state, and they are in old age. They are vulnerable, they can't walk at this point. One of the first things he did, because he said during an interview with him that first month in office, they had to borrow money. But because of the removal of subsidy, states now get a lot more. From the bigger chunk of money coming to them, the first thing the governor did was to address the matter of payment of these pensioners. And they had backlog that he had to deal with. Then 7,500 MSMEs will get funding ranging from 100,000 to 1 million based on enterprise size. Of course, opening 2.5 million bank accounts for Kaduna's needy, with 2 million accounts already active and 500,000 more. Progress being made in terms of 500,000 more. Creating a social register for cash transfers, an effective social protection measure. You mean, it's just impressive what we have seen. The event of the last 48 hours, people will not feel it until even months after, when you realize the impact that these interventions have had on your life. We are not saying that, look, this thing should be permanent. This will solve all problems.
Just about getting there.
But we are saying that let's start from somewhere.
Right.
We have the capacity to help to a large extent. But what are we doing? A lot of the governors don't think that it makes any sense. But here is someone that they've seen what he has done. they should now take it a step further. And that's why I was talking about the governor of Ekiti State the other day, who released 300 million to local councils and said, buy grains for our people, because the local councils are closer to the grassroots.
Right.
So it's not, and that same governor has gone ahead, the Ekiti governor has gone ahead now to increase the subvention of tertiary institutions, the judiciary and others. You can't earn a lot more and not allow us to see what you are doing with it. It can't be business as usual anymore. Right. You have enough funds to play with. You have enough funds to make a lasting impression on the lives of our people. And that's what Governor Obasani is doing. Distributing fertilizers and farm inputs such as tractors, grinding machines to 5,091 farmers. We saw those tractors. I like the fact that the desire to defeat food insecurity is now pushing us to take farming seriously. Look at what the Niger governor is doing. That is the way to go. We should be able to feed our population. How come India, the most populated country in the world currently, they've overtaken China, how come they are able to feed their people? We still import rice from India, despite their huge population. We cannot even feed our people. We can't produce enough rice to feed our people. And we have the capacity to grow rice at least twice a year in most parts of our country.
Right.
Now, as I wind up, launching the 500 million revolving loan scheme for civil servants. You know, the NLC asked that the president should extend this conditional cash transfer for vulnerable people to civil servants, because some civil servants, what they earn is peanuts. Right. I know that it's difficult to implement that for the entire federal, but now you can see what this governor is doing. You know that there are some civil servants that need to be helped in these difficult times when food prices are hitting the roof.
Right.
Now, it's taking steps to create a revolving loan scheme for such category of civil servants. We are not talking about level 17, level 14. The poor will always be in our midst. Let's not deceive ourselves. Everybody cannot be comfortable.
True.
But it is incumbent on us to assist people who are struggling, to lift them up. That is what Governor Obasani has done. And at this stage, we can only challenge other governors to match or even exceed what Obasani has done. Because when I saw what the Ogun State governor did, that one about 5 billion or so, I said, this governor has done so well. But Obasani has shocked me with 11.4 billion.
Mayor Akimpelu, now with this will I say, surpassation from the Kaduna State government in terms of alleviating the suffering of the vulnerables in society, some would ask, is this sustainable? You know, even if it's taking a step further to help people who are, you know, below the belt of the economy, how can we ensure that this doesn't just look like a one-off thing, but people are able to stand on their feet when this palliative measures is being, you know,
yes, of course it's sustainable. It's sustainable because, like I said, there is an increase in the amount because of the removal of petroleum subsidy. There is a serious increase in the revenue accruing to all the tiers of government.
Right.
And some of them are earning twice, thrice what they used to collect. So it is sustainable. What is just is for the will of these political leaders to think about their people.
Right.
You know, that's what is important, because the fund is there. The fund was not there, but it's there now. So if they can do that, why I'm happy with what Governor Obasani has done is that, I remember that on this program, maybe the last time was that we discussed about how Zulum was doing so much in a state that has security challenges.
Yeah.
And then we now challenge that other governors, you know, should emulate Zulum and do things like that. And Oba has taken up that challenge and has done well. But what I want to advise is that I like you said, I like that it was across board, but it must sustain it, because the poverty that is pervading the land is not going soon.
Absolutely.
So we must continue to look at ways of alleviating the suffering of the people. So it must sustain it. And then we want to appeal to other governors to do that. It's not that governors should collect the increased amount of money and only be interested in security votes and things that they do. The people must feel the impact of the fact that there's an increase in revenue in what they're doing, because they're putting so much pressure on the federal government. Everybody is shouting federal government. Everybody is complaining. I know that things are difficult, yes, but the states, we should also call our governors to ask them to do more for the people. Right. So if the governors and local government can do more based on the increase in revenue that they have, then we'll be able to, yes, we cannot solve all the problem at once, but we'll be able to elevate it to a state that people will feel the impact that government is doing something to better their lives.
And in terms of doing something, some would say, you know, it's one thing for the government to do this, but it's another thing for the government to create an enabling platform, you know, where people can thrive. We've seen where the Kaduna state governor has distributed tractors to ensure that people farm, you know, produce for themselves. And Babajide also rightly said that we should be able to produce for our country. We have the capacity, we have all that it takes. But how are we able to show that these machineries or whatsoever gets to those who need it? Because we know in the issue of politics, we have people who, okay,
yes. I agree.
You're my faithful, we are in this party, we know how we can take care of ourselves. How do we ensure that these things get to those who need it and everybody gets to benefit from this program?
You see, getting to those who need it is not the problem. You understand? In a state and local governments, it is easier to identify the needy within a particular community.
Right.
It's just for the government to be serious with what they are doing and then to have the will to be able to touch as many people as possible. You understand what I'm saying? So that's not the issue. But the problem is that I have to come back to the issue of security. Government has to take the issue of security more seriously. Because, for example, in a state of like Kaduna, recently they'll be having a lot of security challenges, and that will affect a lot of things. I know that our security personnel are doing their best. Yeah. Yes, but because they are overstretched, really. But we have to continue to appeal to them to do more. Right. There is need to solve that security issue in Kaduna, because when you do the kind of things that they are doing now, and the people are not safe, you understand? Security is number one. That you want to alleviate poverty or you want to give them grains. If they kidnap them the following day and they need to now start paying ransom, that would defeat the so the government and the security forces should put more effort in trying to solve the security problem in that area.
And we'll get to that security issue much later in the course of the program, but we still have to discuss other issues on Journalist Hangout, where the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajaero, appears to be putting too many sticks into the fire at the time. Joe Ajaero is playing the role of an activist and partisanship, and by involving himself in the running of a political party, which could be difficult to combine. Now, the leadership of Labour Party has therefore advised Ajaero to resign as NLC president and contest for the national chairmanship of the party if he wants to join partisan politics. And in a letter signed by the spokesman of Labour Party, Obiora Ifo, the party insists that its national convention will hold as scheduled on the 27th of March. In a new twist to the issue, the NLC members stormed the secretariat of the Labour Party to protest against the party's national convention and demanded the sack of the national chairman of the party, Julius Abure. The protesting workers were refused entry into the party secretariat by the Nigeria police. BKO, when I first heard the story during the weekend about the NLC being involved with the Labour Party's convention, I'm trying to understand what is the concern of NLC? Why is the union so attached to Labour Party? What is the relationship?
The parent organ of the Labour Party is the Nigerian Labour Congress. It's the umbrella body of workers in our country. So it's difficult to divorce the Labour Party from the NLC, because it's a party formed by workers for workers. But over the years, politicians have found in it a convenient special purpose vehicle to attain political leadership. And Labour, for so long, didn't really show more than a passing interest in the affairs of the Labour Party. So we just saw it as Labour Party, but Labour did not really show an interest, you know. But in the weeks leading to the last general election, we saw Ajaero and his people becoming more and more political in nature. I think that Ajaero will go down in history as the most politically exposed NLC president in Nigerian history, because NLC, they were going to the NLC secretariat, they identified with the candidate of the Labour Party. What I find amusing is, right now, it appears that Ajaero wants to put in place his own person as the national chairman of the party. He's not prepared to take the back seat anymore. He wants to be the godfather that puts the national chairman in place. They've been accusing Abure of turning the party to his personal property, making money off his party. They were accusing him of stealing. I know that there was even an ESCO member who claimed that she was not allowed, despite being signatory to the account of the party, they didn't allow her to know how money was being moved and all that, until Abure presented checks to show that they were jointly signing those checks. So money is involved here. You see, especially in an electoral season, party leaders make a lot of money. They collect bribes from people who want to contest. They sell forms, expression of interest and nomination forms, and they are largely unaccountable. So Ajaero must be seen in the Labour Party a gold mine, and he wants to put his own person. The same way that governors are leaving office, they want to put their person. This is what I see going on. Abure as a person, I am indifferent to him. You know, I've come on this program in the past to criticize him and all that, so I'm not patronizing him, God forbid. But it seems to me that there is a desperation on the part of Labour to chase Abure out of office. And you may have started Labour Party. You understand? But the truth is, once you form a party and you submit the constitution of the party to INEC, that party becomes a public property. It is no longer purely a Labour affair. Many of the people who are in Labour Party today don't have anything to do with Labour. In fact, you can see that Abure and his people are even accusing Ajaero and his people of not being card-carrying members of the Labour Party. So now, you can't go and be picketing the Labour Party secretariat. That is not how to remove Abure from office. If you want to remove Abure from office, call a convention of the party. The neck of the party has the power to send him packing. They can impeach him during their neck meeting. The neck is the most powerful organ of the party. You cannot use Labour tactics, NLC tactics, like picketing, like harassing, to chase the man out of office. If you do that, he will go to court, and the court will rule that he was removed illegally. They ought to know this. Rally other people, call an extraordinary convention of the party, move a motion to remove Abure from office. That is the structure. That is what the Constitution says. You cannot harass him out of office through picketing or stop him from accessing his office and then use that as a means of chasing him out of the leadership of the party. And interestingly, they are also not talking about other people. It appears that Abure is the main
target.
Yes, the person that they want to chase away. I have no sympathy for Abure, but you see, people must realize, because some people have deceived themselves, very delusional people in the Labour Party who imagine that Labour Party is a new breed political party in our country. It's not a new breed political party. Labour Party is peopled by many people who are in the PDP, many people who are in the APC. They just saw it as an opportunity to try and attain leadership. Some were from ABGA, like the former national chairman of ABGA is in Labour today. So those tendencies that we see with our regular political parties, they must not deceive themselves that this one is a born-again political party. We are seeing contestation for power, see blackmail. This is what we are seeing now. But I don't think the methods that Ajero is using is embarrassing the NLC with some of these. These methods will not work. If you push him out of office, he will go to court. You must follow the constitution of the party in removing him. After all, when some people from his ward in Edo State, that's Abure, when they tried to remove him the other day, they didn't succeed. Because unlike the PDP, where the membership of the party begins from the ward, in their own case, it is the national organ of the party that can sack a national chairman. So it didn't work. So you have to follow the constitution. Otherwise, this is a waste of time.
Indeed.
Honestly.
I can imagine the situation right now. But, Mayor, from your perspective, what do you think could be the overriding implications of this development in a party that largely garnered so much support in the last elections? What do you think this could be? Because when we have this kind of situation happening, the NLC interfering in the Labour Party, and it seems like
I think the problem has to do with Ajero. Ajero is somebody that loves power, and he has this impression of himself as if he's the Alpha and Omega, and he's not doing the things. He's not doing the right things. One, yes, the NLC has the right to be affiliated to the Labour Party, but they do it in other climes. The unions in UK or close to the party, to the Labour Party, the unions, most of the big unions in America are sympathetic to the Democratic Party and a major bloc within that party. But NLC duty is to look out for the workers. Of workers and how they can better their lives. When you now leave that and you want to get involved in politics, then you are leaving your core mandate. If you notice that the last strike action, there was a division between TUC and because the TUC said he did not involve anybody, they didn't carry them along, he just took a decision on his own. Remember that in Imo, when they wanted to run for the governorship of Imo State, because he was interested and he had a candidate, he was using NLC to picket a state to try to do things, and that was when he was beaten and all that and manhandled. It is not right for NLC to get involved in the mainstream politics. That is not their mandate. That is not their mandate. Right. Because you cannot use NLC to want to seek to seize power in a political party. That is not what you are supposed. That is not what NLC is meant for. If you want to, like the party told him, if you are interested in becoming the chairman of the party or you want to run the party, resign from NLC and seek for elective posts within the party. And then you can do whatever you like. But you cannot say that, I'm the NLC chairman. And he has this thing that I don't like. I mentioned it the other time. He will just sleep and wake up and say, we are going to do the mother of all strikes. We are going to do strike. Or he won't even sit down and look at it, that what are the challenges? What are the challenges of government? What are the implications of this strike? He will just wake up and say that we are going on strike tomorrow. Then the second day, he will say, we have called it off. He has done that more than 5 times. He's a very unserious leader.
The time will come when nobody will take
him seriously again. It's very unserious, and it's because he's so believed that, I'm the NLC chairman, I can do whatever I like. You can't do whatever you like. That is not how it works. The mandate of the NLC is different from Labour as a political party. So if he wants to become the chairman of Labour, let him be.
He's not even interested in becoming.
You know, of course he's not.
He wants to
yes,
put
he
his
wants
own
to control the party. That's what he wants to do, and it is wrong because they were complaining. They were complaining initially that there was no convention. Now they want to do convention. Now you guys say you cannot. You are going against it, and this picketing that they did is so unprofessional. Because you cannot use Labour style
tactics
and tactics and to want to force a political party to do what you want. It's not right.
BKO, what do you think will be the lasting way to, how can this be resolved? Because when we look at this, the NLC were meant to protect the rights of the workers, and now we see them involved in politics.
No, that's what he's saying, that Abure has deviated from the mandate or the essence of the Labour Party, which is to
protect the rights
of workers. But Labour Party, its core goal is to take power from the people who are in power now. That's
for
why
the benefit of the Nigerian people.
Yes, that's why they are contesting election and all that. So it's not simply to take care of the interests of workers. Otherwise, they won't be contesting election in all the 774 local governments in our country. If it's simply for workers, what is the population of workers? Workers are just 5% of the Nigerian population. You know? So in this case, there is a desire to hijack the leadership of the Labour Party so that going forward, Ajero and Co will be in a position of strength to take decisions, to take big decisions, say we don't want this and it must not happen. They are worried now that, okay, people like Abure, they came from nowhere. They are now rich. I saw some pictures of buildings. They said, these were buildings that Abure, after I became chairman. You cannot, you know, these things, where were they, Ajero and Co, when Abure was accused, along with some of his ESCO members, of forging documents, changing the names of candidates that had already won primaries, and lying through those documents that those guys willingly gave up their candidacy. You know, they didn't say anything at that time because it was convenient at that time. Okay, let's fight a different person. Now you can see it's a big shame that within Labour we are seeing this massive show of shame. It's a big shame because if you ask people like by this time last year, nobody would have imagined that Labour would degenerate to this point. They've accused themselves of corruption. They've washed each other's dirty linen in public.
They have factions.
They have factions. They accuse their chairman of being a thief that has been embezzling money. Now, even the NLC has come into the fold, accusing Abure of using the party for his own personal interest and corruption and all that. So, I think that at the end of the day, this is looking like a battle of the fittest. It is the tactics that they are using is dangerous because it can lead to violence. There are some places where they will be resisted. Because if you are saying they should picket all Labour Party offices across the country, you are looking for trouble. They could be resisted in some places and there will be bloodshed. So the security agencies also need to be on their toes. If Ajero wants to picket, let him be in the forefront. But this time around, he chose not to be in the forefront. Other people were.
The last time in Imo,
he didn't want to. This time, he doesn't want to be beaten. So he's not standing in the forefront. Once beaten, twice
quite shy, like they say.
Yes. There's no need for all this. And the tactics are wrong.
Indeed.
Look at what they are.
We see all the placards and card-carrying members.
You can't use picketing style to chase the man out of office. He will go to court and you will lose.
Well, let's quickly go on a very quick break. You're still on to Journalists Hangout. We'll have more discussions coming your way in just a moment. Stay with us.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Now, the recent spate of abductions in Kaduna State has once again brought the military's competence and integrity under serious scrutiny. But the military isn't backing down. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, who visited Kaduna State after the abduction of another set of 87 people, vowed that the military will go after the terrorists. Let's share the story by our correspondent, Lupe Asom, with you.
The alarming increase in kidnapping incidents within Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State is disturbing. In the latest attack, at least 87 individuals, including minors and babies, were whisked away from Kajuru station. This incident follows closely on the heels of previous abductions, bringing the total number of kidnapped individuals in less than 2 weeks to 162. The Defense Chief, General Christopher Musa, has come to Kaduna to assess the situation and coordinate efforts to ensure the safe return of those kidnapped. Expressing grave concerns, General Musa emphasized the perpetrators' agenda to undermine the federal and state governments, portraying them as weak.
Abduction, as we know, is a social activity. People are doing it for their own sake. Some are doing it to bring down the government, to make the government look weak. But we guarantee that this will end. We are doing everything possible to ensure that we achieve success, and we will achieve success. We are also trying to stop it, to make sure that it does. But what we require is for Nigerians to give us support. Most times when we get information, it comes in a bit late. Before we react to get there, it is late. But we're happy with the way people are responding. You can see from what happened in Delta State, how Nigerians are responding. Everybody supporting the armed forces and the security forces. That is what will ginger the troops to continue to do more.
He issues a stern warning to the perpetrators, reaffirming the military's unwavering commitment to safeguarding citizens.
But you, the parents, we know you have been spending sleepless nights. We equally are doing the same. We are with you in this. I will continue to be with this. And Your Excellency, want to assure you that we will put in everything possible. We are making some adjustments to ensure that Kaduna is secured, the Northwest is secured, Nigeria is secured. Because everybody is tired of what's going on. And for those individuals that have sworn that there will be no peace, they will have no peace. We will ensure that we follow them up wherever they are. And those ones that are sponsoring them and encouraging them to do the same, for their own good, they should stop.
Here in Kaduna, like I said, we are doing everything to ensure that we protect the lives and properties of our citizens. Because we believe the protection of life and property of our citizens is the most important responsibility of our government.
As efforts intensify to address the crisis, the collective determination to restore peace and security in Kajuru and beyond remains steadfast. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
BK, well, I'll come to you on this. One would ask, what is happening in Kaduna? We had 287, we have about 16, we now have about 87 abductions. So why? What is happening in Kaduna? Why these abductions?
Security had improved in Kaduna significantly. Even the notorious Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, security improved. We no longer read about those abductions that used to happen on that highway. There was a time it was always happening, culminating in the attack on the train. But suddenly, we are seeing these attacks, especially in this Kajuru local government, Chikun local government, and Briningwari. The place where those 297 children were kidnapped is along the road to Briningwari. Everybody knows that Briningwari is probably the most dangerous part of our country currently, because Northeast is largely a lot safer now than before. But a lot of those Boko Haram fighters, especially the Ansaru faction of Boko Haram, they are present in Kaduna in good numbers. In fact, Kaduna is their headquarters, and they operate from Kaduna to some parts of the North Central, including Abuja. So what they exploit is the fact that it's difficult, and the Chief of Defense Staff said it, that sometimes, because of the bad roads, before they respond, they will have gone far. Look at where those children were kidnapped. The nearest military base to it is 35 minutes drive away. Wow. And there is no network. Even those who went to the place, these journalists who went to the place to see what happened, they couldn't file their stories until they got to the state capital. So, naturally, the school should not even have been opened. I've said it repeatedly because I can see that in Borno State, they solved that problem. After the Chibok school attack, no more. The next that happened was in
Yola. Was in
Dapchi. Dapchi is in Yobe. You know? Yobe. So, but in Borno, they relocated the schools to the state capital, and because they will now need bigger schools to accommodate everybody, they began building mega schools where you can actually have up to 70, 80 students in a class. You know? So, Kaduna is now in the news. They've got to do something different. This Chief of Defense Staff is from Kaduna State. He's a Kataf man. So, it's really embarrassing.
It is, indeed.
And when he said that some people are doing this
to undermine the
government and prove that the government is weak, I believe.
Really?
I believe too.
I believe.
Why?
I believe because, look, when you remember what happened to Jonathan, the moment he couldn't deal with the security issue, especially after the abduction of those Chibok girls, people started saying Jonathan should go. It's a form of blackmail. You will never know that some people behind the scene are funding terrorists. At least we know now. UAE released to us up to 400 Nigerians who were funding terrorism in our country. We've not forgotten. Despite the fact that the last administration refused to put them on trial, there's no way we will forget. They released the facts that we needed to us. So I want to believe that some of these things are being engineered by some people underneath. And to hear that we cannot defeat banditry unless we negotiate with them is embarrassing, to say the least.
Absolutely.
The military has to come with maximum force. They have to visit maximum force on people who are making life unbearable for our people, especially in Kaduna State. And the CDS knows that if anywhere has to be safe, it has to be Kaduna State, his home state. Not because we expect him to have divided interest, or divided attention, but because it's a statement that some people are making.
Right.
That, okay, you are CDS, but you can't protect your state. Yeah. It has to stop. It has to stop. I could feel anger in his face. This is a man who succeeded in Borno State. He was an excellent theater commander of Operation Lafia Dole. Now he's been elevated, and you can see what is happening in the state. Something must give.
Indeed, something must give. Mayor, your perspective on this and how can this be addressed?
I also believe that there must be some forces behind all this.
Right.
And why I say so is that, why is it that recently this state of these incessant kidnappings are becoming major issue in Kaduna State? Yes, we've had kidnappings before, but now it seems it is coordinated, it is targeted at certain communities within that Kaduna State. What I would advise is that, one, the Kaduna State government for now should make sure that they do not put schools in areas where there cannot be security. Like you said, that's one. But to back that up, it's important that the security forces take battle to these people. According to Gumi, he claimed that when he was negotiating with these people, there used to be government officials with him, which presupposes that we may have a fair knowledge of the area where these guys are.
Yes. Right.
So it is important for us to take the fight to them. We should not react to them. You know, what we are doing now is reacting to them, yes. When they come, they kidnap people, the government, the president tells them, go after these people. They go into the bush and start looking for these people. They should not do that. They should take the battle to them.
Right.
They should take a battle to them and make it difficult for them to be in a position to kidnap people. And then one thing which you have to put in place is that, what we have to know is that these are not bandits. These are terrorists. They've worked before in Borno. They are used to this kind of thing. Why they get themselves involved in kidnapping is because they want to use it to raise money. Because now, the money that they used to get from ISIS has reduced. The kind of cash flow that used to come with foreign fighters and all that have reduced. So there is need for them to raise money. And the easiest way to raise money is through kidnapping. It's easy. They will just say, okay, you pay money. They do that. They will make more money than for them to go and rob a bank or to go and rob an individual. So we have to accept that and take the security there. And then we've all been saying it. We have to also work on our security architecture. That is why the National Assembly must speed up this state police thing. Right. The more security people we have on ground, the better. Because part of the problem now is that the Nigerian military is overstretched. They are supposed to be like a backup to the Nigerian police, but they are everywhere now. They are in Delta. They had issues recently. They are in Borno. They are in Nigeria. They are everywhere, and they are overstretched. So that is important for us to do a security architecture that will be able to be in a position for us to contain these terrorists that are making things difficult for us.
Indeed, that's where we have to leave it for now, gentlemen, because of time factor. Thank you so much, Mayor Akinpelu, for your insights on the discussions this evening. And as usual, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time on the show. Well, that's it, folks, on today's edition of Journalist Hangout. Don't forget, you can watch a repeat broadcast of the show tonight at 11. Join us again on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Esther Makwariola. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Biggest comedy show in Africa is back with a cultural phenomenon for our time. It's AY Live African All-Stars Edition on Easter Sunday, March 31st, featuring the comic geniuses from different parts of Africa. Salvador from Uganda, DKB from Ghana, Zimbabwean-born American Alfred Kainga, Akporo, Acapella, Funny Bone, Koboko, MC Manika, Weymouth, and lots more. Hosted by the legendary AY. Musical performances by Casey, Pataranki, and other rave-making musical artists. Venue, Echo Convention Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. Show starts by 7 p.m. Ticket, regular 5,000 Naira, VIP 30,000 Naira, premium table 5 million Naira, and gold table 3 million Naira. Ticket outlet, all Ebano supermarkets, all Tasty Fried Chicken outlets, or visit www.areatickets.com. Please call 0704-921-5448. Powered by Revolution Plus Properties, Coleman Wires, packaged by Landray Maku Events, and proudly supported by
Morning, no. Now we are not the hurry go like say something they pursue.
Oh God, Lord, na favor with the sick so.
He did hospital with Mama Favor.
Favor get diphtheria. She dey.
Maybe you they carry a go take immunization.
Oh God, Lord,
I never give a vaccination before.
But since we were born Favor, we never carry and go collect immunization before.
Mama Favor na your friend. You know they tell her.
I tell him. Even self, me and my husband follow you talk that time. You dey here when Joy, my sister, born. Every time, they carry him pikin for immunization as he suppose. Even Joy follow collecting COVID vaccine that time.
Now the head of our pikins them, we dey talk for years. If them no collect their immunization, as he suppose be, now their head we dey put for danger. So you no go follow no road.
If your pikin miss to collect any immunization, then go any health center to complete them. Make papa and mama them use that chance collect them COVID vaccine. Call 7722 for more information.
Follow no road.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Today, there are many complex, boring, expensive, and useless exercise machines in the market. Or you pay over 400,000 naira a year for gym membership and never go. ShopX TV is proud to introduce Total Crunch Evolution, the compact, versatile fitness solution that is perfect for you. With Total Crunch, you get a complete fitness workout in one machine. Say goodbye to ineffective and complicated exercise machines. Now, you have the power to transform your fitness journey and get the body you have always wanted right in the comfort of your own home. Total Crunch is the efficient and effective way to build muscle, tone and tighten your legs, shape your back and pectorals, while strengthening your core and defining your abs. Now that's totally effective to get the body you want. With Total Crunch, your whole body works out at the same time. Only Total Crunch can put your whole body in motion as you burn calories and lose weight. Just one fitness routine a week will achieve serious results in 4 weeks.
Total Crunch Evolution has enhanced the way I work out and the results I achieve. It's not just a fitness equipment, it's a life changer. This versatile, time-saving machine is perfect for anyone looking to lose weight or stay in shape. Trust me, this is the game changer you've been waiting for.
With my busy schedule, finding time to work out and stay in shape has always been a challenge until I discovered the Total Crunch Evolution.